Assalamu alaikum, my name is Akeela Ahmed. I'm an equalities campaigner and entrepreneur. This is my story and my journey, and why I think education and equalities is important for everyone.
Akeela Ahmed is a campaigner on equality and on mental health, as well as an entrepreneur. Based in London, her family background involves both Asia and Africa.
My parents came to the UK in the 70s. My mum is from East Africa. She came to the country when Idi Amin chucked them out of East Africa, and my dad is Indian, so he came to the UK from India. They met in the 70s, they had me basically. So my parents, because of the experiences, of coming here, working really hard, my mum especially wasn't educated. She'd left school when she was 12. And my dad had been educated, but he never qualified. He'd always kind of been working really hard. So for them, education was really important, especially for my dad. My dad, he didn't believe in any of the kind of nonsense of a girl's place was in the kitchen and then she'd, get married and all of that kind of stuff. For him, he was always very clear. Education and education, and nobody can take that away from you. That was his message.
Akeela studied physics at university, but her career path took a very different turn.
I left university and I could have gone into finance or become a researcher, but I just thought, this is not for me. I really want to do something where I can make a difference in people's lives and I can help people. I just had this really kind of simple idea that I wanted to help people. So I kind of had this, a moment of indecisiveness or whatever, but then an opportunity came up for me to work with asylum seekers and refugees, and that was a really big issue at the time, in the late 90s. So I basically started working, providing low-level emotional support to asylum seekers and refugees who were newly arrived to the country. They didn't know what it was like to be in the UK. They didn't have a home stay and they had all this trauma.
Akeela put her experience in this area and further study of a master's degree in mental health to use by joining the Muslim Youth Helpline.
So I started at Muslim Youth Helpline as helpline manager. Within 3 months, the current CEO left at that time. And then I became the CEO of the organisation. I had to apply like anybody else. And I think working at the Muslim Youth Helpline was one of the kind of most challenging roles I had, but it was also, the most rewarding. And then we were dealing with, young people who were having difficulties with their parents, relationship issues, mental health issues, so many young people dealing with mental health issues. But as CEO, I was kind of the face of the charity. And that meant then I had to do stuff like talking to media, I had to interface with government, other big organizations like NSPCC, Childline. So I kind of, I had, until that point of becoming CEO, I'd kind of always been working in the front line and working sort of face-to-face with clients. And then I kind of worked with clients through the helpline. And then suddenly I was catapulted, if you like, into this role of, I guess, having a kind of public role, kind of leadership role. And I really had to just learn on the job how to do that. There was nobody there who taught me how to suddenly be this public spokesperson, how to, influence government, how to deal with ministers and stuff like that. But I just had to learn on the go. And I did it because I was so passionate about the people I was helping.
After 3 years as CEO, Akeela left the organisation and since then has been in demand as a leader and member of many campaigns.
I chair the Anti-Muslim Hatred Working Group, which is a government task force which was set up to address Islamophobia and anti-Muslim hatred. Islamophobia and anti-Muslim hatred have been increasing over the last few years, and it's getting worse. So this work is really important because government has a crucial role to play in helping to address and tackle Islamophobia, whether that's through reporting hate crime to the police or dealing with it, in the kind of public space and media. And so I've worked closely with government for the last, however many years, 8 years or so, to really try and bring forward, tangible proposals that they can take on to start to reduce and tackle hate crime and, anti-Muslim prejudice.
In 2014, Akeela also founded an organisation that she believes is essential for women of all backgrounds and beliefs.
I set up She Speaks We Hear, which is an online platform for the unfiltered and everyday voices of women. And we focus on Muslim women. And the reason I set it up was because a few years ago, I was just really disheartened and just fed up of the way Muslim women in particular were spoken about in the media. We were characterised as either a threat to society or women that need a saving. And that was just so far from the truth of my experience of my life and the experience of, so many women that I know. So I really wanted to create a platform in which we could hear the everyday stories and experiences and perspectives of Muslim women and other women.
Alongside this work, Akeela also runs a successful social enterprise business, again helping those in need of help.
So after I left the Muslim Youth Helpline, I wanted to kind of do it on my own and set up my own business. But I still wanted to have that connection to working with people that are kind of disadvantaged and really, finding it really hard to get by in society. So I set up a social enterprise, which basically provides accommodation to people who are homeless. And we partnered with St. Mungo's, who work with people who are rough sleepers, and then they refer them to us, and we give them a roof over their head, we give them stability, and we help them reintegrate back into society. And this is people from all different types of backgrounds. So throughout my career and throughout my business career, I have learned so many skills, and I've learned them on the job. In business, I have to manage people, I have to deal with crisis on a daily basis, and that has taught me how to influence, how to negotiate, and I can take those skills into any situation that I'm now faced with in life and in other areas of my work. And through being a businesswoman, I've learned confidence. I'm so often the only brown woman in the room. I'm so often the only hijabi in the room. And whereas I used to worry about that, now I don't. Now it's become a positive. I know that people will automatically be looking at me. I can then use that to draw up more business, to start up a conversation. And it's brilliant. Business has taught me so much. And if anybody is thinking about going into business, I would say absolutely go for it. Don't worry about not having the skills, because you learn those skills on the job and they stay with you for life.